Mindfulness. Hello, Gosha, sociologist and psychotherapist. Today about mindfulness. Why is it a good idea to start being mindful more often than not? What are the benefits? First of all, what is it mindfulness? Because we hear this buzzword for quite a few years now. And mindfulness, it's not assigned to any religion as an official practice for one religion only. It is part of different type of religious practices, but in essence, it is staying present while experiencing everything that happens in your body and mind without judging it. So everything that is happening that you normally maybe would like to start interpreting, if it is a pleasant experience, running towards it. If it's anxiety inducing, then running away from in either addictive behavior or some thought pattern other than the one you experience currently. That's everything not mindfulness. So mindfulness is actually sitting in experience that unfolds just here and now for you, without trying to change it, without trying to interpret it as good or as bad, but just feeling it. Like now, I'm sitting here on the field. I hear birds chirping. I smell grass. I'm smelling also some changes in the pollen around because the autumn is coming. I feel a little bit cold. I try not to be very conscious of the fact I'm recording to you, but to stay present. And there is this sense that I want to bring you as much benefit with this video as possible. I just described to you my mindfulness experience of the 5 seconds of my life just now. And I try not to be judgmental whether I do it right or wrong. It's just I do it as accurate as it's possible for me now, because also level of mindfulness depends on the level of your practice of mindfulness. So if you start doing it, you will be able to notice some of it, but maybe not all aspects of your experience. And after a while, after some time, you will start discovering layers of the experience of you being here and now. And whatever it is, if it is pleasant experience, then you discover layer of it. So if it is the meal you enjoy, normally maybe you judge it as tasty or untasty. But now you taste even the texture. You smell it before you take the bite. You then look around and see who you're eating it with, and then appreciate them as a part of this experience. And then you feel the aftertaste, and then you decide, do I want to sip something after taking the bite before swallowing, or want to mix it with some other delicious drink, for example. So you see, you start discovering more and more, and be present in that, not thinking what's for dessert or what we are going to do after the meal. This is already running away towards the future, maybe sometimes hoping it's going to be something even more pleasant there, or sometimes even diving into the past, like, maybe a week ago it was nicer or worse dinner than right now. And you see, we are constantly shifting in our mindless experience, because and also not to criticize ourselves too much, because being mindfulness is a choice, and you can train it to be more and more mindful and raise a quality of life. I will tell you right now why it raises the quality of our life. But we also live in a very busy times. We have a lot of things to do. We always had, but right now we are also bombarded with all type of information, notifications. We have to react on this, we have to prepare that. If it's not the family, then it's work. If it's not work, it's our hopes for a pleasure or relax. And we're constantly planning something, anticipating something. So we're constantly in the past or in the future, rarely in the present moment, especially in this kind of layered experience of now. So why we want to train it even more, that's mindfulness. In a nutshell, because it gives us more power. Because it makes us more powerful. Powerful to experience life in all of these layers, as I mentioned. So if it's enjoyment, then you enjoy it to the fullest. If you experience difficulty, then you're really able to assess what's the problem and what's the potential solution without this reactivity. Or maybe this, or maybe that, let's try this, and lose time and resources on the first thing that popped in my head. If I'm mindful, I'm able to rest. Is it really a good decision right now? And to assess all of the factors to really make the best decision. If I want to change something in my life, then by observing what's happening in the moment that I don't think it's the best thing I can experience, for example, addiction, I just observe myself in the moment I'm experiencing this addictive thoughts or behavior. What makes me want to do it? And again, with no judgment, just observing, oh, is that thought that I try to cover up for? Okay. So in here, really, no judgment is the way to go. Because by observing things that happen inside us, we don't create this type of dichotomy, this type of, split inside. Oh, I'm the one to be punished, or I'm the one who's punishing me for having that thought. Because if I'm split in either, I'm weaker. So I cannot access to my full potential. And if I all of a sudden become all of this experience, I'm just observer. I'm observing this. I'm not jumping here to protect myself, to defend, or I'm not jumping to punish. I'm just here and see. I'm seeing, experiencing, okay. And through only noticing, you can change it. Not through fighting. Sometimes we might have really a strong will, but still some mechanisms inside us will be on either side, is either a punisher or a victim. And if you're in either of these teams, you are not powerful enough to change the habit. You are only powerful enough when you're noticing it, when you become the experience, when you become the fullness of that experience. When you are mindful, it's really hard to do mistakes. Really, if you are mindful, if you're present, it's really hard to do harmful things, either to yourself or to others. Because if you are truly in the reality, instead of in the future or in the past or in the fear or in anger, if you're really in an observant mode, then it's hard to be really wrong. And that's the huge reason why you want to be mindful. Because then you can also change shift your behaviors, the ones that you don't like or they are not beneficial to you, by observing what's happening in me, why I'm doing it, and without any force. And that's the difference between being powerful and being forceful. Because if I try to either run away from the punishment of my mind, that I'm punishing myself for thoughts, for behaviors, for something, or if I'm the one who is inflicting punishment, and then I'm only either this or that. And if I am all of a sudden all of that, I have all the power. I'm not exercising a force to be either my side or the other. I'm powerful to observe all, and then the judgment is really impartial as far as our mindfulness level. And also when we are in the state of mindfulness, it's much easier to be patient. Patient for ourselves, for our mistakes, for whatever we are not yet what we thought or hoped we would have been by now, and also patient and compassion towards others, our children, our partners, everyone that we work with and around, because then we understand them in the moment, in this kind of larger scope. We are not only the victim of our emotions in the moment. We are able to be observant. We are able to see everything as it unfolds for us right now and wait with our reaction. That actually creates more space between what we observe and how we react, because we are not being driven by any type of emotion that is either this punisher or this victim. So it leads us to the next reason why we want to be more mindful, because mindfulness helps us to be more powerful in terms of managing our emotions. We thought maybe that we have to either suppress our emotions because they are too destructive, or just to run with it, however destructive it is. But we have another choice. We can be mindful of them. So again, observing it by being present in what is unfolding right now in me gives me more space to decide. Do I want to go with this immediate reaction this emotion brings? Or this emotion maybe is a reaction of some of my memory, or maybe my prejudice, or whatever comes to my mind when I feel this emotion. And you see that's again, this creates this space for me to react how or respond actually in that moment, instead of reacting however I think it suits best to me and others. So overall, mindfulness is giving us power to be a fuller version of ourselves in our decisions, how we want to respond for events of our life, and train the best qualities in us that normally would not have so much space to surface because our reactivity would take the leading role. Mindfulness is giving us this power to step back and see the whole picture without judgment for ourselves and others. So it gives us more power to become compassionate and patient. Through observing our thoughts and emotions, we can also change our behavior, because we create more space between what's happening inside us and how we will respond in the best way. This will bring much more benefit to us and others.